Oh, hello, yes, me again. I thought we'd have a quick chat about. Actually, I'm doing the chatting, aren't I? You're probably just doing the listening, unless you're shouting at me, in which case it's no good. I can't hear you. I'm from the past now. Anyway, Andrew Neil, who's buzzed up. Can you do that from under the radar? Yeah, I guess so. Yes, a couple of pieces about him. He's complained that his bastard child of GB News has become a UKIP tribute act. Yeah, it's not the sort of thing you pay good money to see. A bit like a YouTube tribute act, but that's another story. Anyway, yes, and apparently, sort of, saying yet more about how dreadful it was to be there. He was saying that it was awful because apparently the big money boys behind the station had a particular ideological bent that they wanted put forwards. And I was thinking it must have been awful for him after all those years of working for Rupert Murdoch to be faced with somebody who was extremely rich, who'd bought media, just basically to have influence, sort of deciding what he was going to write. Yeah, it must have been awful for him. Yeah, and the other thing is, yes, apparently he's most concerned that the BBC and Channel 4 are just acting as a mouthpiece for Greenpeace. Apparently, not really quite sure how that works, but yeah, apparently it's really awful if they don't sort of ask awkward questions. And yeah, I think we should maybe pick up on that in a little while as well. Anyway, in terms of Andrew Neil's ability to be really ahead of the curve on things like climate change, let's look at his record on things like his position on the war of Afghanistan, which he was very much in favour of because he thought the invasion of Afghanistan was a really good idea. Yes, and we can see how that's panned out 20 years later. Yeah, that was good. That was obviously a good career move as well for certain people in the military, wasn't it? And he has, if you like, I'll put up the Wikipedia page. He's also basically a climate skeptic, so he will have slag off the BBC, despite the fact I think he still wants a job there. And lastly, and probably most classically, he was a man who basically denied the link between HIV and AIDS whilst he was working for Murdoch. So, yeah, he's got a good track record of being ahead of the curve, as I say. The important part about this is, I am quite certain that Andrew Neil will go back to the BBC just simply because of their production values. I think the major thing that he felt at GB News was that he was better than that, better than having to sit on a table with a laptop in front of him, and most of the money had been spent on the mug with the words GB News on it. So he will go back there, but the problem for him now, I think, is if he has an aggressive line of questioning for somebody who's made wrong decisions in public office, they just need to say GB News to him and perhaps leave it at that. I would, strongly suggest that, if he'd bowed out before, well, if he'd bowed out at this point, it might have been an idea. But I think he's, as an interviewer, as a political interviewer, is a hold below the waterline. And I actually like him as a political interviewer because he's one of the few people that does actually ask awkward questions. It would be good to see him being put up in front of the Nigel Farages of this world. But, as I say, I think he's a busted flush. Anyway, let me know what you think. I don't know. I am bound to be wrong because I'm left-wing.